A quick hi, hello.
Welcome, everybody. We're so glad that you are here. We know for many of you, it might be the evening or daytime. So we are super excited to speak to you guys today. We know that during this time, there's so much going on, but there's so many opportunities as well. I actually was just on a summit yesterday, and one of the things that they just kept emphasizing is now is the time. Now is the time. Now is the time to start that business, start that blog, whatever has been on your heart, like more than ever, now is the time. People are moving towards more digital. People are moving towards supporting and helping one another. And so we're excited this evening to really just bring to you guys tangible things that you can use and utilize. I know for me, Young Living has been an incredible piece to kind of leverage some of the other beautiful things that I'm doing, as well as from a marketing and branding point of view. We're gonna touch on a little bit of that as well. So for those that don't know me, my name is Dana, and so I will be teaching alongside both Lydia and Lydia. And so I will let them tell a little bit about themselves as well. Like I said, we're going to touch a little bit on some oils, some products, but we're also going to get deep into some branding and marketing. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and pass the torch to Miss Lydia.
Oh, which one? Oh, Dana, dear, which one?
Sorry, Lydia Epic first.
Okay. Just wanted to check. I was going, I think she's saying it's me. Okay, let me finish up because I was wanting to make sure. And if you haven't already seen the prompt in the chat to have a way for people to connect, make sure you drop your information there because we're all about women supporting other women in their businesses. And as she said, hi, my name is Lydia Epic. So glad that you're here to join us. A little bit about me. I am an engineer turned health coach. Plant-based is my jam. I love helping people to incorporate that into their way of being. And so educating about how that can not only help you personally with your own health, as well as we'll talk about later, creating a business and being able to help others to expand their health horizons as well is totally my jam. So, with getting started today, we're going to chat about the importance of having quality products in your home, about clean living. I'll do just kind of a little tidbit about just how it's affected us, and then some of the things to consider when you're looking for a quality product. So we got started with Young Living back in 2015, 2016, just had our daughter, and we were wanting to make every intentional effort to live as clean as possible. So we were realizing very quickly that what we're putting on our skin, what we're putting into our bodies, what we're breathing in, what we're eating, all of those things are very important. So plant-based was the direction we went. With Young Living, you'll hear three words that will come up over and over and over again: seed to seal. It makes a world of difference. It's the reason why I'm comfortable taking an oil and using it, not just simply in a diffuser and also on our skin. You'll see many oils are labeled just in terms of conventional, just run of the market things. They'll say just use it. Don't use it on your skin. That's a sign that you're not dealing with quality. And also with the French method, able to use these oils internally. So here in the US and in Canada, that's something that we're able to do, and we have specific labeling for that. Nevertheless, this is, again, top quality. You want to make sure that you're doing your best to just, again, be in a place where you're taking care of your body well. Also from a therapy standpoint, real quick, When you're dealing with any kind of scent, when you're dealing with the sense of smell, it's going to be a direct link to your emotional brain. Quick way to find it is just put your finger on the bridge of your nose, here in front of your earlobe, and that's going to point to the most protected portion of your brain. When you're dealing with your limbic system, that is the seat of your memory and your emotions. Of your five senses, the sense of smell is what connects straight to that portion of your brain before it goes to your frontal cortex, which is your rational thinking. So when we're using an oil, it is allowing us to literally do aroma therapy. So the same way that you wouldn't want to go to some therapist who has no clue what they're doing, right? And just kind of throws out ideas and is very just kind of, right? You would want to go to a quality therapist. You'd want to go to someone who has a reputation of helping people get to the root of their issues and work that stuff out and resolve those emotions. Same thing with oils. You're going to work with a half-done oil or an adulterated oil. It's like working with a half-done therapist. You deserve better, you deserve quality, and that's exactly what you get when you're using a Young Living oil. So like I said, we'll talk a little bit about some of our favorites. We might touch on one or two, and then we're chatting business. And so with that, I'll turn it over to Riley.
Thank you so much, Lydia. Okay, so my introduction, I am currently like a blogger and influencer, and I'm a mom. I also have my real estate license. There's a lot of little buckets that I put my category of what I do in. But as you can tell, that's what that really means is distilled down to me. It means that I just am into multiple streams of income, which is the entire reason why I do the Young Living business. I like to tell my Young Living story because it is extremely unique, and I'm just going to be really quick about it, but I'm married to the former chief of sales from Young Living. Just corporate structure wise, you've got an owner, you've got a president, and then you've got the staff that kind of helps with them. He was on that staff. And so my vision into the company really came as kind of the behind the curtains, kind of as close as you can get to being able to see what this business really can do and what it's all about. As a result of being Ben's wife, my husband's Ben Riley, I got the really, really awesome opportunity to travel around to rallies, incentive trips, conventions all over the world. It was pretty awesome. And Young Living really, really emphasized and made a point of, hey, your husband's going to be on the road a ton. He's going to be on the road 60, 70% of the time. We want to make sure it doesn't impact your family so you can go whenever, wherever you feel like going. So I did what we will all do and canceled everything. Just kidding. And just started to travel. I really did, because we were going to have a baby. There's a lot of different reasons. I married Ben after being a single mom for 10 years. I didn't go anywhere. I didn't even have a passport at the time. And so we both kind of looked at each other and saw this is an enormous opportunity to get some lifing in as well, right? And to support my husband and to be able to be together and everything like that. So I went to Honduras, Belize, Australia. I went to Darwin and Prague, the Gold Coast. Young Living has a farm in Darwin. I went to London. I went to Prague. I went all over France, Nice, Provence, Paris, all over. I went to, I don't know if I already said Banff, Canada, Toronto, just so many places. And then all over the lower 48 states. I went to a really cool sandalwood farm in Hawaii, one of my favorites. And so during this time, I remember kind of just mentally taking down a lot of notes. I really was sucking in all of the life experience that this was giving me. And I feel like for the first time in my life, I really can understand when, that kid graduates from college and just wants to go backpacking for a year, because I really do believe that you gain a wealth of experience from traveling around. Okay. And that's kind of what happened to me. And I can chunk those lessons into like three main categories. Okay. The first one was that I got a wealth of knowledge just regarding this business, right? In terms of just traveling around, I was like, who gets to do this for a living, right? Who gets to travel around so much and make that a big part of their income or their main income, or, you know, retire themselves from a 9 to 5 going in every day kind of job and kind of earn the freedom that you gain with traveling all over the world. I saw that firsthand, and I really love that. Next trip that's coming up for Young Living is a trip to Bora Bora. The winners have already been chosen, and they're all expensed guests of Young Living. They host them in a great little retreat, and that is part of the business. Aside from the money that you earn, you get to travel and lots of incentive trips. um, I love those. Those are my very, very favorite of all the travel opportunities that I got. The incentive trips are killer. So that alone for me, because travel is a big part of what I love now, and that I'm kind of addicted to it. I think once you start traveling, you start seeing the world, start meeting different people, it becomes a little bit addicting. So that alone became one of my main motivators in the kind of life that I knew that I wanted to start to build. The second thing that I was able to educate myself on during this whole experience of traveling around with the chief of sales of Young Living, um, was I got to see seed to seal what Lydia was mentioning on a very firsthand basis. Young Living owns their own farms. They're the only company that owns their own farms. We don't broker them from different farms. Seed to seal means that Young Living is in control of the quality of these um, little bottles these little bottles of oils, from the seed, from the time it's put into the ground, through harvesting, distillation, growth, all of it. And you know, it is only because they're in charge of the whole process and can control and make sure the optimal levels of every chemical constituent that they want is in each bottle. There's actually little numbers on there. You can get lot numbers, and you can identify exactly when harvesting was for this specific batch of oils. Seed to Steel means that Young Living is the standard in providing quality essential oils. And seeing that firsthand is just a gift. And, you know, I didn't get to experience that just because I was a wife of an executive. I got to experience that. Everybody, anybody off the street can actually tour these farms, can see these processes, and they have staff there, and they have usually laboratories where people are happy to talk to you about what exactly they're looking for. I actually got to distill my own bottle of lavender while I was in Provence. Pretty awesome. So once I kind of saw Seed Distill, I was really, really sold on the product, and just started to you know, obsess more and more about what oils I had, which ones my, you know, husband could get for me, or what we could order from our house. And it's all because I was able to see like the Seed to Seal quality commitment that Young Living has. And the third thing that I was able to kind of see and educate myself on during this process of, you know, being married to the chief of sales, was that I was able to sit down with some really, really successful individuals who were running the business and doing so incredibly. I had never in my life met so many millionaires. And I know that sounds crazy. I know it sounds like exaggerated, but when Ben would sit down with some of the members, it was because they hit a certain rank usually. So I know for sure that I was meeting the top of the top, right? But the incredible thing that I kind of gained from all of this was that a lot of them did it in their own way. And a lot of them were so generous with how, you know, much knowledge and how they would talk about their business, talk about the growth of their business, talk about the strategy that they used. That, I mean, that alone, guys, what a blessing, what a gift, right? How many times have you got to sit down with people who are at the top of their industry, and they're just willing to impart their wisdom on you? Um, and so I think that that alone, like walking away and realizing, wow, these are women who are wealthier than any women I've ever met in my whole life. Besides in the industry really of real estate, which is my other passion, you know, it seemed like a lot of people were able to retire really, really early and young because of this type of business. And so I gained a lot of interest that way by having that firsthand experience. You know, what I kind of realized was that like, this isn't something that has to be ridiculous or crazy that you are able to customize the way that this business works for you. And we talk about that in our branding and classes that we're going to do kind of after this. But I just want, I want to express and I want to share and kind of witness to the incredible opportunity that I know that this is. That I walked away when my husband left for a different, he's sought after, he's got a great resume, a great experience. And another company took him away. And I was kind of glad because I couldn't join the business while he was the chief of sales. So once he left, I got my opportunity and I said, I'm going to run with this. He said, you should run with this. I know that you would kill it. So that's the bread and butter of what why I do what I do. In the next little segment, we're gonna talk just about a few products that we each love. I'm probably gonna truncate that a little bit. Maybe I'll just talk about the 3 main products, and just because we're trying to get into the branding class as well. So my gateway oil, my favorite product for Young Living is Young Living Lavender. And lavender is probably one of the most commonly used essential oils. It's definitely got an aroma that is associated with calming, and that is exactly what it does. Young Living, Lavender is specifically wonderful for calming you. And I think it's one of my favorite because I am an anxious person. So any of my calming oils or calming blends typically include lavender. This is my main sleep oil, and I combine that with my other favorite that I'm going to talk about. But lavender is phenomenal, and it's in the starter kit, and it's phenomenal for calming and for sleeping and for anything that has to do with kind of bringing it down a notch. My second oil that I like talking about is cedarwood. Cedarwood is a inexpensive tree oil, and I got addicted to cedarwood after going camping in the redwoods with my family. We were there for a week, and I just noticed I had a different level of sleep. I was sleeping so deep and so thoroughly through the night, and I'm like, it's this magical kind of woodsy air. And I know it's very grounding to be around those kind of trees and their energy anyway. But when I came home, I just wanted to replicate that ASAP. So I started trying all these tree oils, and cedarwood, little cedarwood, that's like $10 a bottle for 15 ml, started to really, really crush it for me. And then I started doing research and realizing that it had really high levels of sesquiterpenes, which really impact your emotional brain. So this oil quite literally calms down my crazy, always running around spinning brain. And it is my very favorite. It's also amazing topically. It's great for your skin and your hair. And so I really recommend that everybody just give cedarwood a shot if you haven't already, and always have it on hand. My third oil that I want to talk about is called Thieves, and Thieves is actually a blend. It's a blend by Young Living. It is named for 4 or 5 thieves, robbers during the bubonic plague. It is said that they would kind of rub the spice mixture all over themselves before going and robbing the graves of the dead or the dying. So, when they were caught, it is said that they were given a leaner or a lighter sentence in exchange for their recipe. So this is a really powerful blend of a lot of immune boosting oils. It has clove, cinnamon, lemon, rosemary, and eucalyptus in it. Each one of those oils individually is phenomenal for your immune system, but when you blend them together, it's next level. And it also smells phenomenal. Around this time of year right now, it's got this spicy, warm, kind of like cider scent to it, and it is just beautiful. We put it on our feet. That's where both a lot of your blood vessels are that can be absorbed into your body and really support that immune system. I dilute it down for my baby. For me, I can just go full steam. I diffuse it almost every single day, and I've started to add it actually to my nighttime blend as well, just because we can all use as much immune system support these days. Am I right? So those are the 3 oils that I just really like. I love these oils that these ladies are going to talk about too. So I'm going to pass it over to who's next? Lydia? Dana?
I'm on it. I can do it. All right, awesome. And I always love hearing Yuka's story about just how she's been, how she brings that perspective of the world is yours, the world is ours, ladies. I mean, if there's guys watching this too, you too can have a piece of the world, right? But recognizing that this is an amazing opportunity to serve as well as to grow and to create a legacy that's left for our families and our children and their children in such impactful ways. So let me go ahead and chat about some of my favorites. These would be, yeah, I'd say I could call these my top 2 or 3. So I am an absolute fan of Thieves and Cedarwood as well. Cannot talk enough about those. Another super favorite is Peppermint. So Peppermint I love from a wake up, feel alive, feel fresh kind of scent. This is one when I was teaching that I would diffuse whenever we were about to have a test or it was first thing in the morning to just help people to wake up and to just feel more vibrant and to just get the brain going. So peppermint is phenomenal. The other is Citrus Fresh. Citrus Fresh, I especially love, and it's been really impactful this year as we spent so much time indoors, just disconnected from other people. And in that space, it's very easy for our emotions to start to go towards a more negative direction, right? I don't think I need to say anything more. And so having different citrus oils, they're known from an aroma therapy standpoint to be very uplifting emotionally. So if you're in that place where you're just wanting to have to experience a lift and to have just a little bit of a light and hope and just for your brain to be able to go to a more positive direction, cannot recommend Citrus Fresh enough. And that's literally what we were diffusing that for. So with myself, with the kids, just having it in the kitchen, diffusing it at the beginning of the day, to just have everybody start off on an awesome track with Citrus Fresh. And then last but certainly not least, absolutely love this stuff, Ningxia Red, the exotic red drink. And with this, phenomenal with regards to helping to strengthen and energize and fortify the body. So this, the wolfberry is considered the kind of secret weapon of the Chinese Olympic teams with regards to helping their bodies to be as strong and energized as possible. Wolfberries, if you do the research on it, phenomenal stuff. What makes this unique is that it is coming from a region of China that's the Ningxia province, and they are organically grown. They're organically grown wolfberries. And this is considered the highest of the high. This is a top quality of wolfberry that you can get. So it is not only just simply the wolfberry, but then it's also combined with other superfood purees. And whenever you add in, whenever you throw in an essential oil, it's going to kick it up by 1,000 in terms of just the maximum impact that a product has with the body. So with this little pouch, this is phenomenal with immune boosting. That's how we use it with a couple of my clients. They've been able to use it with regards to shifting the amount of insulin that they're using because their blood sugars have been able to settle out much easier, which has been phenomenal, as well as just helping the body to stay clean. We talk about it being an antioxidant, which means if you think about an apple, you cut it open and it sits on the counter, it's going to naturally turn brown. That's oxidation. It's just a natural process. It happens to us all. And when we're in an environment, whether it's with our water or with stress or with food or just environmental toxins, it's going to speed up that process. So having a tool like this in your back pocket, or even better in your fridge, is phenomenal with regards to helping your body to stay clean and in some cases to act as a reversing agent. So it's antioxidant. So those are my 3, and we'll hand it off to Dana.
Awesome. Thank you so much, guys. So my 3, I want to talk about, like, first and foremost, the reason we want to really hone in on the products that we've chosen is because when you get started, you'll get started with one of the premium starter kits. I'm super excited, especially in South Africa. Today is actually their 1-year anniversary. So that's super excited. They have really grown. They are currently at 20,000 members in a year. So The reason we want to bring this to more people is we realize that we're going through this time where people need health solutions as well as financial solutions. So the first one that I want to talk about is Aroma Ease. And Aroma Ease is an amazing blend that helps all things digestion. So I love this blend because it's safe for little ones. It's safe for me. I know when I go on different elevations and things like that, I get motion sickness. So this is one that I keep on hand. It helps to with that equilibrium. So what you'll find with a lot of these oils and a lot of these oil blends is they actually can substitute maybe some of the things that you're doing currently. So when we talk about some of the different natural benefits, it's not really an extra expense as much as it's replacing some of the things that you may already be using. The second oil I want to talk about is RC. So RC or Raven is another blend that you will get in your kit. All things respiratory. So we think about what is going on right now in the world and what is being passed around. We need to protect our respiratory system. So this is an excellent blend of different eucalyptuses, myrtle, spruce. And what you're going to do with this is you're going to rub it on your chest or rub it on the bottom of your feet. I know for me, I had a little one, my son, he's now 6, but when he was born, he was asthmatic. He had troubles breathing. And so as a mother, of course, I was concerned what I put on him and what I used, but this was such an amazing solution because it was safe, it was natural, I didn't have to worry. We diffused it in his room. Like I said, we put it on the bottom of his feet as well. So you'll get a chance to experience some of these different oils and kind of see which ones resonate with you. The last one I'm going to talk about, because I'm really excited for us to talk about some of the marketing stuff, is Valor. So Valor is absolutely one of my hands down favorites. Like I probably within hand have Valor somewhere at all times, in different size bottles as well. This is also a blend. It's a blend of camphor, black spruce, blue tansy, frankincense, and geranium. And this is a very beautiful grounding oil. So I know for me, I call it my liquid courage. It's an amazing blend that you can use for your body for confidence, kind of to ground you. I love diffusing it. I even use it a lot with my kids, just to help give them a little more encouragement, a boost, and some self-confidence. So those are my 3 oils. I'm excited for people to get to try them, experience them, because not only will it give you some physical responses, but it's really going to help to support your emotional state during this time period. So with that, we're going to transition right into some of the marketing and branding, and I will go ahead and give it back to Lydia Riley.
Awesome. Okay, so we talked last week about how to kind of start your own personal branding. We talked about, just to kind of reiterate a little bit, we talked about how to identify that it's important to identify who it is that you're talking about, right? Because as we all know, have you ever remember when we had landline phones? And I remember a couple times knowing for sure that it was my bestie calling, right? No, for sure. And so you answer the phone by going like, "What's up, girl?" And being all crazy. And then you realize, oh, this is my dad's boss, and so that, that's an example of how important it is to know your audience, right? Know your audience. Who is it that you're talking to? And so we went through some questionnaires and kind of understanding that your message shifts as you understand who that person is. Today, what I wanted to talk about was really about quality content and how to create content that is valuable. Because believe it or not, guys, my picture of my cute little baby is actually not that valuable, unfortunately, right? Or even the picture of me looking amazing, or the selfie that I love, that I, took 20 different similar pictures in order to get that very perfect selfie. that actually isn't valuable either. And what is valuable is going to fall under a few different categories. And in order for us to really be seen at all, what we have to realize is that all of us now, and I'm talking specifically about Instagram, but this can be relating to almost every other platform. We all follow way too many people. We follow so many people that the time that we have on the platform is really spent on such a small percent. The average is that everyone on average follows about 250 people. I follow way more than that. And what I can tell you is I for sure don't have time to even come close to seeing what most people are posting, right? And so the content has to be kind of top notch and it has to be really, really specialized. So once you understand who your audience is, I want you to create valuable content for her specifically. And what that means is it needs to fall under one of four categories. Okay. It needs to be motivational, inspirational, educational, or there's one more category. I can't really for some reason I'm drawing a blank. Educational, and let me think about it, okay? I'm going to come back to it unless you guys ladies can remember. Actually, I have a note on it. I found it. Okay, it's entertaining. So entertaining counts as well, but as you know, it takes a lot to be entertaining. So I would really always recommend that you go for motivational or educational almost every single day, and that you throw entertaining in there if you are phenomenal at a specific gift or craft or talent or something like that. Then you can throw that in there as well. So how is it that we can make motivational and inspirational content? Well, here's the first little secret to being able to do this and to do this consistently and to have it be relevant to your audience. You guys, I'm just like in this right now. Okay. I had one of my posts go pretty viral relative to my other posts. So virality really, it depends on how many average likes that you get in order to consider something viral. So viral for me might mean I got 5,000 likes on something. Viral for someone else might mean, well, it's not viral until it's hitting 10,000 likes. Or viral for you might mean that you suddenly got 200 likes when your average is 20, right? So I had a post that went viral and it re-taught me something that I knew and something that I had been trying to do. But the reality is that you need to create shareable content. It doesn't matter if it's your face. It doesn't matter if it's your baby's face. It doesn't matter if it's your family. How is your audience going to respond to this? And if they are saying, girl, that just taught me so much, I have to share this, or my audience would love this, or my mom friends need to know what you just shared. Okay. And so I'll show it to you guys, even though, it's kind of foolish to try to show a post on video. But it's one of those quotes, right? Can you guys see it? So it's one of those quotes. I'm going to show you, you could check your insights. My insights show that it's been shared 393 times. And it's been saved 149 times. So what that means is that I created something that was truly valuable, not only to the person that I was targeting, but to their people as well. So that's really the shortcut. And you can do that by just reposting. So that was an original piece of content that I created, but follow people who you know are brand relevant to you. And the post that you go, boom, shakalaka, I would totally share that to my that's totally relevant for my audience. Steal it, steal it, borrow it, whatever you want to call it, and reshare it and give credit. That's how you can feel good about yourself, by taking someone else's post, is when you give credit, right? Because they want you to give credit. They want you to share their post. That's going to help your channel. I've gained about 150 followers since I posted that 3 days ago. I'm telling you guys right now, it doesn't matter if your grid's perfect, if nobody's finding it. This is how you get found. Shareable content from if you really understand your brand, you really understand what you want to be known for, you understand the problems that your audience has, you understand them so much that you're like, she's going to love this. That's the stuff that you need to post. Okay. So under motivational and inspirational, I actually think it's really easy to just repost. That's the laziest way to do it. I always actually grab for a repost when I used to do this when I didn't have a picture or a video, or I was too tired, or you know what I mean? Maybe I don't have my face on, so I don't want to create original content. Now I'm realizing, I need to default to that. And I need to still personalize my page with my face, my kid, my baby, all, you know what I mean? My husband, my family, all of those other brand pillars that I have. But the most important thing is that I'm thinking shareable content. That's the key right there. Okay. So go motivational and inspirational for that. And then educational, again, that selfie is great and your skin might look perfect and you might have really been working on whitening your teeth and like coming in there smiling all big and looking amazing, but it has very little value if you know what I mean, if it's just like, hey, here I am. Now, if you take that beautiful selfie, but you're able to say, I've been using this amazing skin polish. It's really working for me. Here's the recipe. That is the way to turn your selfish agenda of I look really cute into a valuable educational post for someone else. So I think that's just the main thing. And you can kind of start thinking a little bit creatively. We can brainstorm a little bit here, but that is the extent of it today is you have to, more than ever before, you have to provide value. If you guys want to, we can go into the next thing if you want, because I could talk about hashtags today as well. Should we do that or should we save it?
Yeah, let's see. Go for it, Dana. How are you doing on time?
I'm good. I was just going to add to what you just said as well, because I know one of the things that I talk a lot with my team about as well, even something as simple as adding that value and creating something that builds trust. So I had like a few slides of posts where all of them pretty much had similar likes, but it was the saved ones and shareable ones because, like you mentioned, I had information that people wanted to save and they wanted to come back to. So there was something valuable in what I was teaching them in that one post, as well as for me in that post, I was actually looking at the camera. So that also increased people because they're like, oh, I trust her. I'm looking at her in that space. And so I love that piece where we don't want to just look at necessarily the likes, but get into those insights. Who is sharing your content and who is saving your content? Because those are the people that you're actually building those relationships versus people that are kind of transit and coming through and stopping by, but not staying. So I really, really enjoyed like that portion. And then, yeah, absolutely. Let's go into like hashtags. Let's go into some of those other things too.
Okay. So yeah, I was going to say, we talked about it last time, how people buy from people that they know, like, and trust. And so really this becomes important. And you mentioned something that just reminded me that, all of our valuable content cannot be trying to sell people something. Sometimes we just need to hook somebody up with a great tip. Sometimes we just need to hook somebody up with one of our favorite products. Sometimes we just need to be like, you like this hat, let me show you where I got it, and a couple of their other color options. Our value, in fact, people will start to get tired of us if they can always predict that we're trying to sell them. A way that you can develop that know, like, and trust factor is by hooking people up with value that's unrelated to something you're selling, enough times for them to go, okay, yeah, like that little Amazon scalp scrubber that I purchased because of Lydia really, really was awesome. So I'm going to keep my ears open for other things that she mentions as well. Okay. So I love it. Now we're going to move on to hashtags. So hashtags, guys, I cannot emphasize enough how important it is to use hashtags. And not only that, if you're using 5 or 6 hashtags, that's not it. That ain't it. 10, nope, that ain't it. Instagram specifically allows you 30 hashtags. Well, I'm going to say this. I use 28. So you want to come in right under the bar so that you're not, sometimes you end up doing like hashtag something else somewhere else in the post. They will literally kind of like dock you if you have over 30, or if you try to post more than 30, or kind of look at it as a metric of trying to like game the system. So you can use 28 hashtags. So what I would do is break those down. You're using 10 hashtags that are, specific to your industry. Okay. 15 that are specific to your, so those are kind of the broad ones. Industry are like bigger umbrella. Maybe you're going like wellness for women or something like that. 15 that are specific to your post, that specific post. And then how many is that? 25. And then is it just 3? 3 hashtags that are really, really kind of more long tail and specific. I'd look for hashtags that are between, and it depends on how big your audience is, but that are between 10K. So on Instagram, you know that you can use a search feature and you can search hashtags. Okay. So research your hashtags and create 3 or 4 truly curated lists of hashtags and use them on a rotating basis every single post. There's nothing that is going to grow if you're creating valuable content, there's nothing that's going to get you found more than using valuable hashtags. Does anyone have questions? What questions do you have?
Okay, so you mentioned that you'd have 10 for the industry in general and then 15 for the post. So in which of those categories will we put hashtags that are very specific to the person that we're speaking to our Hey Girl?
Which one of those?
Yes, would it be an industry, or would it be in the industry hashtags, or would it be in the post hashtags?
It would be, so 10 industry, 15 post, and then the 3 remaining can be really, really specific, longer tail. Long tail just means lots of words in there, right? Like maybe you're doing a pelvic floor post, right? Okay, maybe you're doing like pelvic floor exercises. The industry that's under is more fitness. So maybe it's postpartum workouts, postpartum body, postpartum, all of those, right? 15 post specific are going to say pelvic floor health, pelvic, you know what I mean? Like pelvic floor exercises, maybe Kegel exercises for, postpartum. Those are specific to the kind of post that it is. And then those other 3 is when you can really, really dial into your girl and just say, it's not going to have anywhere from, 10K to 500K searches when you search how many people are looking for that hashtag. But on that specific one, that one doesn't matter. Go for it, even if it has 100 followers or 1,000 followers on that really specific long tail one, then those 3, then just use it anyway, because there's not that many people looking for it. And you've really, really dialed in who you're looking for. And these are just broad, you guys. Here's the thing, done is better than perfect. So pick some hashtags, 28 of them, and just use them. And if you get more time, then create another list of hashtags. I'm going to show you what I do. No, I'm not going to show you. It's too hard to show you stuff on my phone. If I can, I'm going to make a video and I'll share it with you guys about how to populate your hashtags really easily. Do you guys know how to do text replace?
Yes. So I know that's a feature that I have on my phone. It's an Android, so I had to download an app, and it's been phenomenal. That has been really, really useful.
So I use text replace specifically for my hashtags, but I also use text replace. If I make a post that has the same question coming in over and over again, I'll answer it in kind of a text replace thing. And then I'm just pushing. So that makes it so you have a shortcut. For my hashtags, I have H1, H2, H3. I had a hashtag called, I have a list that's Black lady related. It's Black specific. So that hashtag is actually hashtag Black girl. And then it's like Black girl magic, Black girl healing, Black girl, all of that. And they all populate. So make a shortcut, whatever. And that turned out to be kind of annoying because occasionally in my text messages, maybe I string those words together on accident and then it would populate. So what you want to do is just use a really, rare term, H1. I never type H1. But when I type H1, blah, 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 all my hashtags relating to H1 populate. Okay.
Yeah, totally makes sense. And a real quick question, I'm going to ask this because there's a question that came through, and then actually, no, yeah, let's answer Tavis's question. So Tavis just asked a question in the chat, and it was, so if you make a vegan cheesecake, would you use hashtag healthy lifestyle? So yes, I believe that would be one of the hashtags that you could use. You could use multiple ones. You could use hashtag nom nom or hashtag vegan treats, hashtag Black vegan, hashtag, yeah. So you could totally do that in terms of just having a whole collection of hashtags.
And Lisa, I'm going to answer so hashtag healthy, healthy lifestyle. Okay. The reason why hashtags are valuable because they get you on the discover page. Okay. And when you go to Instagram, everybody grab your phone. Let's go, unless you're watching this on your phone, go to your home page on Instagram. Or sorry, hit the search magnifying glass on there. And why cannot, okay. And you should have a discover page. This discover page is customized to you and the type of videos you typically, drool over. Instagram knows everything, guys. They know the pictures you stop on. Maybe you're going to hover over it for a second, but you're not going to double tap. Okay. Maybe you're going to watch through a whole video and you're going to love it so much that you share it. Those kind of metrics are really, really important. Okay. Which is why, I'm sorry, I forgot to go into this other thing. This is a little bit scatterbrained, but this is really, really important. I want you to do more than just a single photo posts. Did you guys know that you could do video on Instagram? And did you know you could do video in a few different ways, actually? Okay, so video's not going anywhere. If you feel like I don't want to do video, I'm gonna wait until all this video content stuff is like gone in order to start posting on Instagram. You're going to be waiting a long time. If anything, Instagram is going to switch exclusively to video. The reality is with video, you get to know people more intimately than you do through a still photo. So think about Instagram's history as they went from this beautiful, perfected, curated picture. Everybody looks perfect. Everybody figured out how to snatch their waist and make themselves look blurred out, flawless, hyper curated. And that worked for a minute, right? We all fell for it until Instagram started making us feel bad about ourselves, right? And then we started to engage more with videos. So because we started to engage more, Instagram started to ramp up the type of features they had relating to video, okay? Now I'm going to tell you something. IGTV is magical. IGTV is longer form, longer than 1 minute videos. And it's because Instagram is low-key trying to take over YouTube. Okay. So if you have a long video and it keeps somebody on the platform for 5 minutes over here versus another person who's just doing a still photo, even if that photo is magical, even if that photo is the best photo in the history of photos, the reality is when that comes up on my screen, it's literally double tap and then I moved on. It's 5 seconds. It's no time. And Instagram's priority, like every other social media platform, is this acronym that you want to remember: TOP. Time on platform. Do you keep people on the platform or do they skip past you? Do they delete? Do they not care? Okay, so that's the magic. You want people to stay on the platform. And that can happen with a still photo that's shareable, right? If I have a still photo that comes up, but so many people are sharing it all to their friends, and all their friends are coming and looking at it, and they're relating and they're resharing it into their stories, then sure, that keeps a lot of people on the platform for longer. So use that still shareable post. But I'm telling you that your smiling baby, I love babies so much. I love my babies so much, but I realized nobody cares. Nobody cares. So use those photos to personalize your page, but they're not going to help you grow. They're not going to help you grow at all. You've got to educate people. You've got to inspire people. You've got to motivate people. You've got to create shareable content. And this is stuff, the magic in this, guys, is that this is you specific, because your audience is there to see you. So whatever it is that you have people there for, the magic that you have, if you're helping people live a more, like Lydia, like that vegan, all that, there's a huge category of vegans. You could even dial that down more. You could whittle it down even more, right? Black vegans, right? Or whatever it is. So there's a lot of opportunity to be able to serve better, use social media to serve better. And that's when you can be truly valuable. Okay, so I was going to talk about how, sure, there's a few different ways that you can post to Instagram, right? And there are, sorry, I'm just pulling up some notes here.
Yeah, and actually, while you're pulling up your notes, just a real quick, if you can give it as a 10-15 second answer, because I know something that's really popular is to have hashtags, especially when we're talking about things young living, to have young living style hashtags. So what are your thoughts on that? Just
Lydia, I love you so much for asking that freaking question, because I was going to get in there. This one's a really good question. I want like lean forward, because I feel I study marketing. Like, this is what I do. And even just last night reviewing this, I had to remind myself, okay, who is searching for young living hashtags? This is a classroom question. I want somebody, I'm asking that for real. Who is searching for young living products? Young living.
Hey, Linda, answer that question. She's eating.
That's okay.
Oilers. They're Oilers. Ugh, get off.
So how do you feel about having other Oilers consume your content? I love it for my oily channel, where my team and other people are following me. Sure. Why not? Right? Why not? But the reality is hashtag YL, hashtag, they already know. They already know. They already know oils. They already have gotten their kit. Maybe, 28 hashtags is a lot of hashtags. So I would say, fine, throw 5 of them in that are young living specific. But with all of your hashtags, I mean, those are gold. Those are an opportunity to be on the For You page. They're an opportunity to get discovered by new eyeballs. So I think it is a blessing to be able to think about how someone who doesn't already know about oils would search for this solution that you just found for them. So I have to go through and clean out my oils hashtag list myself, because it's not valuable. It's not helping me. It'll help me get a lot of likes. It'll help me get more comments by people who already know about oils. It'll help me get better engagement. So maybe that's why I'll throw a few that way. Maybe 5 hashtags is what I would do. But for the rest of them, I'm really going to work on, I'm spending about 30 minutes to an hour today just creating new hashtag lists. Did somebody else? Yeah, Dana?
I was just gonna add to that too, because also when you think about yourself as a search engine, the reality is even the person that would be perfect in your ideal person for oils or for young living or for this business, they have no idea that they need or want oils. So why would they use that as a search engine? Even if somebody has the most amazing hats, I'm not going to just go searching for a hat. I saw your hat and now I'm interested. Or because we're in the same mindset when it comes to clothing, then I'm interested and I'm searching for certain things, and then I'll stumble across it and find it. So I do think that's super, super important to also think about. The reality is they don't know that oils are going to be the best thing for their sick child. They don't know that, so you have to draw them in.
Yep. And that's where you use the hashtags for sick babies or immune health or those types of hashtags, as opposed to going, thieves the day. I mean, we all know those hashtags, and I'm not really hating on it. I just realized they're useless. I'm getting no discovery from using Young Living specific, those oils. And again, that does, if you've got an enormous downline and that is a huge part of your business today, then your business is getting your people buying and selling oils, right? That's the business, or you know what I mean, purchasing different products. So in that case, that strategy is just a little bit different. But when we're trying to find new enrollments, the Young Living hashtag's not going to do anything for us. What I was going to talk about too was the types of posts. I can't believe I almost skipped over this. We have the opportunity to post in a variety of different ways. I recommend that you really rarely ever use just a single photo as a post, unless it's shareable. Okay, so that's really the only and again, that's just because it takes less than 5 seconds, 3 seconds to consume and like that. And you want to keep people on the platform longer. Here's a little secret. When Instagram releases a new feature, they are going to bump and promote and really, really serve up that type of content. So you want to use the new features that Instagram has, and they're usually designed to keep people on the platform longer. There is an exception. So IGTV is huge. Look at it like a YouTube channel. Okay, consider it like a YouTube channel. That's when you're going to get on there and you're going to create a quick tutorial, or you're going to do a tour, or you're going to a long form piece of content. What I kind of like to do sometimes too is I create a piece of content that is for YouTube, but then I save it and also upload it to Instagram as well. That may not, you have to play around with that because the content is consumed a little bit differently. The main thing being that people are vertical, right? Looking at their phones vertically as well. Whereas in YouTube, I do feel like people do this more often. So these are just ideas. Okay. So I really recommend at least once, twice a week, if you want to be valuable and you want to be consistent, you want to be known for something, that you create a valuable piece of long form content and upload it to IGTV. Save it to your feed. Make sure, because on IGTV, it doesn't necessarily automatically show up in your feed. Are you guys following me here? Okay, good. Doesn't necessarily automatically show up in your feed. But make sure you have that, make sure it shows up in your feed. And you can choose what picture you use for that little square showing. It's like a thumbnail, okay? So IGTV is amazing. You can do regular video as well. So if you have a shorter video, it's not quite 1 minute, but it's still really valuable. You can upload that because, again, anything that keeps people on the platform longer, awesome. A little secret to doing videos is within 3 seconds, you want to do your hook. Okay, so you want to do a hook, you want to switch it up. You want to, if I'm doing an outfit, I might show something and then boom, 3 seconds in, I'm pulling you in within 3 seconds, because people just don't have time, right? Live is another option. This is another way to get great engagement. On your actual live, you might have like nobody showing up, but live is still valuable because you will pop up in front of everybody that's following you. It'll say that you're going live. They will have more exposure to it than they will have to any other pieces of content for you. Live makes me nervous, but suck it up and do live, because again, video is not going to go anywhere. It's a really important way to show up. Live really, really does matter. It can boost your channel. And I was going to say, with live, you can save it and then upload it as IGTV and double dip on your content creation. I really like to do something called batch creating. And when you batch create content, it simply means that you're finding multiple ways to use one piece of content that you created. So maybe if you create like a long 5-minute video, maybe there's a couple 1 or 2 minute clips that you could use for something else as well. And then I was going to talk briefly about Reels. Okay. Instagram just released Reels, and your exposure on Reels, your reach on Reels is going to be ridiculous compared to your reach on a regular photo and your reach on a carousel post. Reels is Instagram's TikTok. So what we're seeing here, okay, usually the life and death of a social media platform is pretty quick. I mean, not pretty quick, but the fact that Instagram has been around as long as it has, and it is growing and growing and growing and growing, that's simply a result of their pivoting. And they're pivoting, they're competing head to head. They acquire Facebook, or they partner with Facebook. They are going head to head with YouTube in terms of IGTV, and now they're releasing TikTok, because it's all about time on platform, and those two were big competitors, right? We only have 24 hours in the day. Instagram wants me to consume as many or spend as many hours as possible on their platform. So that's why they're doing these releases, and that's why they're going to reward you when you use their new features. Okay. Lydia, Epic, I think you're frozen. Are you there? Is she frozen? Oh, she's frozen. Okay, does anybody?
Yes,
there
I
you are.
am.
You're back.
Here.
You're
Yes,
back.
I'm here. I was typing actually an answer to Makeda's question, but I can answer it on here because those were really great questions. So she said, okay, so do I work with newer hashtags or with more established hashtags? And so it's kind of a double answer. And then Riley, you can check me on this. So with the 5 that she mentioned, that would be your long tail, where they're very specific. It's okay if it has less than 10,000 posts, because you're wanting to speak to a very, very, very specific group. So for example, I'm wanting to connect with people who are in West Africa. So if I'm going to use something like Niger Housewives or Ghana Health, those aren't going to necessarily have, tens or hundreds of thousands of posts. Have a good one. But at the same time, it's a way to be able to connect specifically with them, because the people who I'm looking for will be looking at those hashtags. With your others, you want to go with the ones that are going to have more visibility, not extremely high count. So for example, Flashback Friday or Throwback Thursday, right? Those are going to have millions of posts. If you create a post and put that as your hashtag, it might be seen for that fast. And so you're wanting to look at the number of posts with that hashtag to be somewhere between, say, 10 to 20,000. I'd say really 20,000 upwards to about 200,000. So if you want to go in that window, I think that's about right. Does that sound about right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, she's not. Yeah. So that would be where you'd want to focus, because it has enough action and traction where people are looking and posting there, but not so much where you post it and then it's all of a sudden lost because there's been so many people who are populating in that particular hashtag. So hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to answer the question. Just to add on there, I think that the right answer to that is actually in how good is the content, because Instagram will actually they use a ratio now. So smaller accounts have a shot against bigger accounts. So if me and somebody with 1 million followers are both using the same hashtag, if I'm getting more engagement, if Instagram sees that right away I had like 5 comments and I responded back to those 5 comments and the momentum is still good, and this one with 1 million, maybe they had 200 comments right away, but because my ratio is better, right? I have a smaller audience, my engagement ratio is better, I can actually make it on that explore page ahead of them. So big established hashtags are still worth pursuing, but your content better be next level. It really, really, and by that I just mean it better really show value in a way that people are like, this is an amazing piece of content that I'm going to engage with. Okay. So don't be afraid of those big hashtags, but I would, I don't know another way to say that other than make it good, make it really good, make it really good. And that should be what we're all pursuing, is just better and better and better content, consistent content, niched down content where people know exactly what they're here to get and that you're delivering and they're loving it. So,
Super
and,
good. Super
and
good.
and that takes some exploring. It takes a little bit of time. Don't think that that has to happen right away, especially if you're just barely starting to share. I mean, this is something that takes a little bit of time, and you've got to, and you only get better by doing it consistently. So
Yeah,
great
most
question.
definitely. And I was
Uh,
gonna say that
go-
was super, super. Well, go ahead.
please, you go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say that was super, super valuable. And I know that there is so much more to connect with because I have a whole additional set of questions, right? So we want to say, for the sake of time, that I would love, and I think all of us would love to have a part 2 of diving in with regards to Instagram, because there's things like, okay, how do you engage in DMs? How do you engage on posts? At what speed do you engage on posts? Why is it important to show up in a particular way? So all those I know would be beautiful as a second part. And so if I say we wrap up with this, and I know that this was extremely valuable to you, not just from a product standpoint, but realizing that we collaborate together so that you have the tools that you need to be successful, because this isn't about one person rising up and somebody else having a fall. We all rise together. This is what it's all about. We all rise together. So with that, we're going to wrap it up for this Tuesday, and be
What
sure
I
to,
was going to say is, for my team, I'm actually doing a like a quick boot camp. I'm going to do I'm doing a Facebook group. I'm not keeping it alive forever. It's just really, it's a 10-day boot camp. And I'm going to keep it on there for about 30 days total. What I'll do is I'll invite is everyone here in the Unapologetically Oily group?
ooh, I know I am. And if you're not in the Unapologetically Oily group, it is a Facebook group. So you'll want to hop on there. I think we can figure out a way to have that available in the show notes for you to be able to see it for later. But yeah, if you search on Facebook for Unapologetically Oily, so 2 different words, yeah, you can definitely get that information out to our people.
Perfect, because it would just be easier to just have you be able to access every single day training about social media, because this is what's going on with my team too. And they're impatient. They don't want to wait a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks between lessons. They want to button it all up in 10 days. And so I'm committing a lot of time to that. I'd be super happy to have everybody here actually jump in there, spruce up their social media as well at the same time. We'll continue to keep brushing over this stuff ongoing. This is how we do business these days. But just letting you know that invite will come in at Unapologetically Oily. And anybody, if you want the link just from me, it's Lydia Kia on Instagram as well. And I'll give you the
Awesome.
link to that. Okay.
Super.
Thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
so much.
That was
All right. Well,
long, but this stuff is important. So
it is. And so thank you again so much. And again, thank you to Dana as well. And just in terms of helping us to not only celebrate South Africa as they are doing incredible things there, but then also for us to have our own celebration here, because again, we are all growing and rising together. We're going to finish 2020 strong. I'm already excited about Q1, first quarter of 2021, because this is when we take the business by storm. So, all right, have a great one, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.
thank you.
Bye. Thank you.